It's 1973, the golden age of British farce, when slapstick, saucy double entendre, and a bit of cheeky innuendo ruled the comedy scene. Enter Not Now, Darling, a film that takes all of that, shakes it up, and delivers a riotous, door-slamming, clothes-swapping, laugh-out-loud farce, featuring some of the biggest names in British comedy. At the heart of it all, the ever-charming, ever-winking, ever-lecherous Leslie Phillips, because who else could you possibly cast as a suave, slightly dodgy furrier trying to seduce a gangster's wife with a mink coat? He's joined by a who's who of comedy royalty: Joan Sims, Barbara Windsor, Ray Cooney, and a supporting cast packed with British stage and screen veterans. So, what exactly is Not Now, Darling all about? Well, buckle up, because this is one wild ride. Phillips plays Gilbert Bodley, the co-owner of a high-end fur salon in London. But while his business partner, Arnold Crouch, played to nervous, bumbling perfection by Ray Cooney, is trying to keep things afloat, Gilbert is far more interested in using his stock to impress beautiful women. His latest scheme? He's trying to gift a luxurious mink coat to his latest conquest, Janie McMichael, played by the glamorous Julie Edge, the wife of a rather dangerous and very jealous gangster, Harry McMichael, Darren Nesbitt. Naturally, things don't go according to plan. Janie's husband has his own ideas about the coat. So does Gilbert's actual wife, Maud, played by the wonderful Moira Lister. And then there's Joan Sims as Miss Ambrosine Tipdale, the ever-watchful salon assistant who sees everything. And let's not forget Barbara Windsor as Sue Lawson, who gets tangled in the chaos alongside her hapless husband, played by wrestling legend Jackie Pallow. What follows is classic British farce at its finest. Mistaken identities, near misses, rapid-fire dialogue, and an ever-growing pile of discarded clothing. Doors open, doors slam, people hide in cupboards. It's everything you'd expect from a proper 70s stage-to-screen comedy. Yes, the stage play, because before it was a film, Not Now, Darling was a smash hit in London's West End. Written by Ray Cooney, who also stars in the film, and John Chapman, it was one of those productions that audiences loved. Fast-paced, slightly naughty, but ultimately just good, old-fashioned fun. Now, translating a stage play to film isn't always easy. Some work beautifully, some fall flat, but Not Now, Darling manages to keep the energy alive. It retains that theatrical feel, with much of the action taking place in a single location, the fur salon, just like it did on stage. And while it's very much of its time, and some jokes might not fly today, it captures a particular kind of British humour that was all the rage in the 60s and 70s. Filming took place at Pinewood Studios, the legendary home of James Bond, the Carry On films, and pretty much every major British production of the era. And the cast? Well, it's basically a Carry On reunion. Joan Sims, a veteran of the series, is her usual brilliant self as Miss Tipdale. Barbara Windsor, known for her bubbly, cheeky persona, brings her signature energy to the role of Sue. And let's not forget British screen legends Jack Hulbert and Cicely Courtnidge as the bickering Frenchums, adding a touch of old-school charm. Oh, and if you keep an eye out, you'll even spot Peter Butterworth and Graham Stark as a pair of painters. Uncredited, but unmistakable. But how did audiences take to Not Now, Darling? Well, let's just say reactions were mixed. The film did decent business at the box office. British audiences were always up for a bit of naughty comedy, and with a cast like this, it was bound to pull in a crowd. But critics, they weren't exactly rushing to shower it with praise. Many found it a little too old-fashioned, even for 1973. The Carry On films were still going strong, but tastes were shifting. By the mid-70s, comedy was getting a little edgier, a little more cynical, and Not Now, Darling was very much a product of an earlier era. But for fans of classic British farce, it was, and still is, a fun, light-hearted escape. And let's be honest, it's impossible not to enjoy Leslie Phillips at his most charming, Barbara Windsor at her most delightful, and Joan Sims at her absolute best. If you love a good mix-up, a bit of slapstick, and a whole lot of doors opening and closing at precisely the wrong moment, then Not Now, Darling is a must-watch. So, have you seen Not Now, Darling? What's your favourite British farce? Drop a comment below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, keep the laughs coming.
My God, he's a fast worker.